Welcome back, everybody, to the live stage here at C2E2. This is the SYFY WIRE live stage, and I'm your host, Katie Wilson, sitting here with cosplay superstar Yaya Han. Give it up for Yaya.
Hi, guys. Hello. How is everybody doing? Yay.
I'm so excited I get to chat with you again. I got to talk with you last year, and I totally geek out for cosplay because I think it's a skill I completely lack. So I love getting to talk to cosplayers.
Oh, thank you. You could totally cosplay. I think I told you this last year, but yeah, there's a lot of dedication and time and money and effort that goes into it. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
It definitely takes a lot of determination and skill. I don't think I have the skill to be able to put it all together. But
can learn the skills.
I guess so. So. But this is actually your first convention of 2019.
It is, yeah. I've come out of hiding. I'm in costume again for the first time in a few months, and it feels really great, but also a little nerve-wracking because tomorrow, of course, judging the big contest is going to be all day. So.
Yes. Well, tell us real quickly what you're cosplayed as and what went into creating this look.
Well, I really wanted to be frilly and pink and cute today, so I brought my Cheryl Gnome costume. It's a galactical idol from the anime Macross Frontier. And Macross Frontier has not been licensed in the US, which means not that many people know about it, but it's one of my favorite Macross series, and Cheryl is one of my favorite characters of all time. And so she's a singer, and she's very confident, so I really, this is basically one of her concert outfits, and she has a million different outfits. She's like a fashion icon. So I wanted to make this outfit based on one of her collectible figures, which I totally own, and it's just a lot of circles that had to be ruffled and finished off, and so just lots and lots of fabric for sure.
How long did it take to make this?
I think about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, just sewing lots of strips and doing a lot of rolled hems. And
it would take me 20 years just to figure out how to sew a circle.
Circles are not that easy to sew, actually. There's a thing to it.
I can't even imagine. So besides the actual sewing part, but you also have to find the right accessories and make sure the look, the makeup and the hair.
Definitely, yeah. I had to make the necklace out of various lace and literally sewing beading onto it, and so stuff like that is really fun too. So of course, doing accessories. I have Warbler in my hat. Literally, I just made a hat out of Warbler and then covered it in fabric. It's so much fun.
That's awesome. So one of the things that I'm really excited about, as you said earlier, you're one of the judges of the cosplay competition here at C2E2.
Yes, the Crown Championships of Cosplay. It is the big international craftsmanship-based contest that ReedPop does across all of their conventions worldwide. And last year I got to go to a few other ReedPop conventions, and I got to choose the champions from those countries that are now have traveled all the way to Chicago to compete for the world title, so to speak. So it's a really prestigious contest, and ReedPop has done a really great job marketing it to cosplayers and being very supportive of everybody who wants to enter. And I think tomorrow it will take us about maybe 8 hours to go through and speak to every single contestant, look at their costumes up close, understand their process, look through all their portfolios, and then somehow choose a winner. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah, but how hard is it as a judge? Because you do this for a living, so is it hard not to be extra critical?
I try so hard to be as objective as possible, and I think when it comes to cosplay, the quality has been raised so much in the last few years that these costumes that come in, they are sometimes as good as the Hollywood, like the real Hollywood versions.
Wow.
You know, like people are using advanced technologies and sometimes literally using the same methods to replicate costumes that were used on screen. And so when you have that level of detail, then you have to be very objective and just look at the kind of effort and time that went into it and be able to judge like a full crafted 3D printed armor costume against a fully sewn costume against a foam costume, you know, so it's like you have to take into account all of these different categories too.
Yeah.
So
what other sort
easy.
of elements do you like goes into your decision making?
I want to understand the cosplayers, like what they set out to do. I want to understand like the character, I want to see the reference and see what they were trying to achieve and see how close they got it. And it's not about being critical. I think for a lot of people, a high-end contest like this can seem very intimidating because they're like, well, I don't want to be in front of these judges and have them critique me. But for me, it's not about critiquing anybody or looking at a flaw. It's about understanding the effort that went into the costume and not missing a detail. You know, like if you finish even the inside of your costume, I don't want to miss that, you know, because that took extra effort. So in the end, we will be choosing the person that had the most well-rounded execution and the most clean finish, you know, like the most, maybe like the most variety of techniques used, because each technique is like another, how do you say, it's another risk, another like stake. And we just want to see the person that is the most deserving, you know.
I see a lot in cosplay competitions that these cosplayers also come in character, knowing their lines and how to speak like the character if there's dialogue. Is that something that also you consider? Like the full package of it? Or is it focused mostly on
so
cosplay?
For the Crown Championship, it is craftsmanship only, which in some ways is really good because it takes that pressure away. You don't have to worry about the presentation aspect. You can just focus on the crafting. And I think that is something really comforting to a lot of cosplayers. However, part of, you know, what you do on stage, it's about mobility. It's about, you know, if it's a big dress, can you move in it? You know, if it's a big mecha robot, can you actually like, you know, turn and have some sort of mobility with your arms? And we do take into account how you present yourself on stage from the costume aspect. And then, of course, there are contests that do consider both craftsmanship and performance, and those are really like more like variety shows. Those are really fun too. But I think tomorrow we can just really expect a just costume extravaganza, you know, like it's just gonna be spectacular outfits on stage from not just the US, but like 10 different countries. So yeah, it's like really interesting to see what people use in different countries, you know, like what kind of materials they have to use.
That's crazy. How many are there? How many people are competing in the finals?
So we're doing the Midwest regional selection first. So I think there will be, I'm gonna say maybe around like 30 to 40 different people that are competing to be the regional winner. And then we're choosing the US winner out of like 4 or 5 different regional champions. And then we're bringing all the international champions on stage that traveled from Australia and South Africa, Indonesia, and, you know, France. And we're going to be choosing, I think it's like there are different prize tiers, but ultimately there will be like one world champion.
Wow, that's really exciting. And when is this tomorrow? When can people see it?
So the stage show starts at 7 tomorrow in the 7 p.m. On the main stage, the big main stage. And definitely, if you can make it, come see it. It'll be live streamed too, I think. So please support these cosplayers. They've been working, my gosh, for months.
Yeah.
So
yeah, give it up for cosplayers. Yeah. So besides being a judge in the cosplay competition, where can your fans see you throughout C2E2?
So I'm here with Bernina USA, Bernina the sewing machine company, and so I'm at booth 880 all weekend. And in fact, tonight we're doing a little cocktail party upstairs on the 4th floor at 7 p.m. and everybody's invited. Come and join me. We can like chat about cosplay and sewing and all that good stuff, and they'll have like sewing machines there to do demos. You can like learn some things too.
I feel like all the competitors for tomorrow are just going to show up and just be like, oh hey, can we get a little extra, you know, just trying to get in with you.
You know what, it's more about like if any of the competitors have questions about, you know, like about how things are going to go tomorrow, if they want any advice, like I'm happy to give it as a judge, you know, like I used to be a competitor myself. I know what it's like and how, you know, mentally nerve-wracking it is. And so I want them to be fully prepared and be very confident.
Well, you said you used to compete as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a moment that a cosplay just completely blew you away?
Multiple times, definitely, yeah. Like I was in Sweden watching a competition, and like this girl came on stage and did this elaborate skit based on The Hobbit, like recreated a scene from The Hobbit. And before I knew it, I was like crying. You know, like it was very moving. So I think that's the great thing about cosplay is this, it's like knowing that everybody is a fan and we're all amateurs in some way. Like even I was not taught how to make costumes and do makeup, you know, like we all come from that aspect of being just a fan, and then being able to see people create just unbelievable things just because they wanted it so badly.
Yeah. So say you could go back in time and give yourself advice, like right when you were starting out, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh my gosh. I would say definitely not feel so pressured by what other people say. I think I used to definitely take criticism a lot harder than I do now. Now I'm just like, whatever. You know, I'm really like trial by fire, whatever. But it takes time for everybody to get there. You know, I want people to know, and I want like a young me to know that you truly can cosplay whoever you want, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You can do it, you know, your own version, like, you know, based on your skill level and your budget and time allowance. And just as long as you feel good being a character, then just be that character.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited because you actually have a line of cosplay accessories as well as a partnership with Joanne Fabric, and you have a line there as well. Tell us a little bit about that and what goes into, you know, being able to see your vision sort of come to life that other people can go buy.
Well, like my own personal line of products, they were my ideas, and like I have a very strong hand in producing them, either like, you know, made by me and my team of employees. And that's like very like, oh, whatever comes to my mind, let's put it together and take a picture and just see if people like it or not. And put it online and we'll see. Or bring it to a con and we'll see if it sells. Working with a big corporation with Joanne, like Joanne is, there's so many people involved, and so it's very like, I have to just make them understand my vision and what I want to accomplish and what this product should look like. And then I have to like let go of it.
Oh, yeah.
I have to like, hopefully somebody else will, you know, set it up right, be able to distribute it right, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get the colors of various fabrics out there that I want. And of course, I design from a consumer standpoint. You know, I'm designing as a cosplayer with fabrics that I personally would like to use and that I think cosplayers would like. And then, of course, having a corporation then is about like, okay, so what actually will be able to be put in the store because of room, because it's like there is a room issue. You know, like I never thought about that. You know, for me it's like I make something and try to sell it, but they have like, well, we have to find room for it in the store. Like, oh yeah, they have like 865 stores. Okay, so it's been a really great learning process. But I will say Joanne has been incredible at embracing cosplay. And that's been very impressive to me, because I think we all know, like, if you've been cosplaying for more than a few years, you know what it used to be like, not having materials, like not finding the right fabrics for our specific use, and having to scramble to make something work. And now having like the biggest sewing and craft chain in the country actually actively seeking out the cosplay market is so reassuring, you know, so it makes me feel a lot better designing things and pushing outside of, you know, my comfort zone too.
Yeah.
So like this, just this past month, we dropped the new cosplay trims collection, where it's like, now we're pushing beyond just fabrics. We're now making other materials available, and hopefully I can, you know, keep going in that direction.
Yeah, what are you working on next? I mean, there's fabric and trims. Can you tease anything maybe that you're working on?
We are working on things, trust me. I am always like, we need this and this and this. And so actually tomorrow at the contest, at the Crown Cosplay Championship, we will be making an announcement. There will be a surprise. So if you're there at the contest, it's really good news. It's really good news that I'm very excited about, that we've been working very hard on. But hope come to that. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
So you kind of talked a little bit about the process of, you know, making sure that you know, you put your vision and your idea out there and hoping, you know, it can get represented in that way.
Yes.
But do you have like a favorite item that you've created that people can get?
For me, I love it when I see anyone using a pattern of mine to make a costume, or using a fabric to make a costume, or seeing cosplayers use like my elf ears, like my very exaggerated blood elf ears for their World of Warcraft costumes. Like, it makes me feel so accepted and welcomed when I see my peers, you know, use my products. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's like, they've accepted me, and I did something to help them to make their project a little easier. So I think I'm very fueled by that. And whereas that's definitely different, because I used to just cosplay for myself, and, you know, I used to just like make things that I personally wanted to, and part of the whole like getting over taking criticism was to be like, I'm not going to listen to anybody else. Whatever they say, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to make whatever I want. For me, this is me, me, me. And eventually, now that I've been cosplaying for almost 20 years, now I'm like, it's the community. You know, it's the community that has kept me going all these years, has supported me. So I am no longer just cosplaying for myself.
Yeah.
And so it's really exciting to be involved in these types of projects where I'm able to do something, you know, for the community of cosplay.
Yeah, and like you said, you've been cosplaying for 20 years. That's
in July, it'll be 20 years.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So,
I'll be celebrating somehow.
So is there a cosplay that you still haven't done, but you've always wanted to from the beginning?
Yes, of course.
Like what?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have some costumes from older anime, like cult classic anime, that I would love to do. Like, I love to cosplay from Record of Lotus Wars or Rose of Versailles. You know, I'd love to make like a Marie Antoinette style dress based on the anime and manga Rose of Versailles. And those are things that will hopefully eventually I'll find time for. You know, like that's a great thing about cosplay, is like you're never too old to do it. It's never like, oh, if you miss your chance, you won't be able to do it again. So I just kind of try to leave things open and see what comes naturally.
That's really cool. I recently saw your cosplay of Phoenix that you posted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I totally fangirled.
Like
Who saw that?
Super, like,
Did anyone here see that?
fiery.
Yes. Okay, so describe the process of creating that look, and also do you also do sort of like the photo direction as well?
I do a lot of collaborative photo efforts with various people. For Phoenix specifically, I worked with Jay Tablante, a photographer in the Philippines. He's probably one of the most well-known photographers in Asia, and especially in cosplay photography. He brings like a whole team to the process, where it's not just the photographer, but he has a lighting team, he has a post-process editing team, so all of that, the special effects with the fire and the earth being blown apart by Phoenix, that was all created by the team. Wow. And so I just kind of let myself get swept up in that. But I did organize a full 1-week photo shoot in Tokyo last October, where I brought my photographer and we did 12 photo shoots in a cosplay studio for over 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like you have like these dedicated buildings with different sets and different environments, because Japan is like the land of cosplay. And so we literally were just like knocking out one costume after another, going from like the futuristic space room to like a dungeon to a classroom. And that was probably the most marathon, extreme photo shooting that I've ever done. And I directed basically all of that, which just meant I was like, go over here and take my picture.
Yeah, well, I think that's something a lot of people, at least when you're first getting into cosplay, don't necessarily think about. You know, they make these beautiful, elaborate cosplays, but then to also have that creative mind to be able to sort of know what you want that photograph to look like.
Well, it's more and more. Like, I see people doing crazy things, really doing very elaborate photo shoots that are no less professional than, you know, the photos you would see in Vogue or Vanity Fair. Like, there are a lot of people pushing the boundaries of what you can do with cosplay photography, and that is one of the amazing new developing things in our modern cosplay community. So I think anybody can go in and take photos. Like, you don't have to have a professional photographer take your photo. You can learn how to edit photos yourself. You know, you can get somebody from your friends group or your loved one into it, like, and get them excited about photography. And this is like a thing that they can get into. And you can do collaborations yourself, you know, so yeah.
What's more exhilarating for you? Presenting a cosplay at a convention in person, or, you know, having this amazing elaborate photo of it come out?
Definitely convention. It's the interaction, like being able to interact with people, or used to when I compete, like the ultimate was just being on stage, acting out the skit. But yeah, it's definitely that human to human connection that I love the most. And the photos are great, but yeah, I still love coming to cons and being in costume with everybody.
Is there anything that you're working on right now, cosplay related, that we could maybe get a little hint about?
Oh my gosh, I think I talked about this last year. I'm still working on it, but I'm making a freaking Yuri on Ice costume.
Yes.
It's happening. The movie is coming out. I have my fabrics, I have my design. So I'll be, I've been very wrapped up in designing fabrics and the trims and other things that I haven't sewn in a little bit, but hopefully I'll be able to carve some time out and just get into it and make my figure skating inspired costume.
That is so cool. I know it's the first day of C2E2, but have you seen any really cool cosplays thus far?
Yeah, you guys keep coming by my booth. I love it. Yeah, that's like, yeah, cosplayers keep coming by. I saw a wonderful Ahsoka. I don't know where she is, but she looked perfect, had perfect makeup, Ahsoka from Star Wars. And and I think like tomorrow is really gonna be the day where everybody's gonna break out their big costumes. Like, I talked to a lot of cosplayers who are like, wait till tomorrow. I'm doing my big thing tomorrow. That's like doing the thing that I'm known for. And I'm like, yes, come by, show me.
Is there a cosplay that you think that you see the most?
Was it not Harlequin last year?
Yeah.
I think 2018 was Harlequin. So, but this year, I'm curious what it's going to be, you know, like.
I've seen a lot of Captain Marvel so far.
Heck yes, I want
Yeah.
all the Captain Marvels, yes.
So we have the cosplay competition tomorrow. Anything else you want to tell us about that?
Definitely come to the competition, 7 p.m., get there early, line up, cheer for the contestants, you know, they've worked so hard, and let them know that you're there for them. And maybe it'll inspire you. You should enter next year. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Yaya, for joining us. Please give it up for her. And guys, make sure you keep following us here at SYFY WIRE for all of the nerdy news that you need to know here from C2E2. And you can follow along with us using the hashtag C2E2 and hashtag It's a Fan Thing. Make sure you stick around, because up next we have Afro Samurai director revealing new movie project details. So stay tuned for that, guys.